Figma prototyping is an essential part of the design process. It allows designers to quickly create and test various design concepts, producing interactive designs that can be improved until the best possible design is achieved. However, simply creating a prototype is not enough to be successful. To grab the user's attention, you must make sure that your Figma prototype stands out. Take it to the next level with creative interactions that engage users and make them want to explore more. In this course, you will learn the necessary steps to make your prototype stand out by focusing on interaction and animation. We won't be designing from scratch, but don't worry, the Figma file will be provided for you to follow along. This course will be divided into 2 parts. The first part will cover the basics of prototyping, including how to implement after-delay animation, interactive button, floating tab bar with smooth transition, scrolling content with sticky element, and video prototype with its new update. The second part will cover more complex prototyping that will require a pro account. We will explore Unique's concept made specially for this course. Plus, you will learn how to create a quick and cool animation in the style of Dribbble, a popular design platform, using jitter. So you won't need to use After Effects anymore. There are many ways of prototyping in Figma, including the option to add quick animation to improve your app's intro by using after delay interaction. This will bring your app to life and make it more engaging for users. After delay is a technique used to add a delay between transitions in a design. This can help create more complex and engaging user experiences and bring a static design to the next level. Animated buttons in Figma are essential elements in UI design. They are dynamic that will engage users and provide visual feedback when hovering over or clicked. Designers can create animated buttons using various animation techniques such as hover state, clicked state, and transition animation. With the ability to add custom animations and interactions, Figma allows designers to create unique and engaging button design that will enhance the overall design of the app or website. Scrolling content and sticky elements are common design features found in many applications. From sticky header to infinite scrolling feed, they are essential for modern software design. In this section, we will explore the importance and key consideration for effective implementation. While swipe gesture have become commonplace in many modern interfaces, drag gestures offer a more deliberate and intentional interaction for users. In Figma, drag gestures can be a powerful tool for designers, enabling them to move and manipulate elements with ease by combining the intuitive nature of drag gestures with visual cues that draw users' attention. Designers can create interfaces that are both elegant and user-friendly. We'll explore the potential of drag gestures and discuss some of the best practices for implementing them effectively. A side menu, also known as navigation drawer or hamburger menu, is a common UI design pattern used in many applications and websites. It is typically a panel that slides out from the side of the screen when a user clicks on an icon. The purpose of the side menu is to provide quick and easy access to a range of application features and functions. There are several ways to create a transition to access the menu option. While sliding is a common transition, we can make it more visually appealing by creating a 3D effect transform using the SkewDat plugin by Unfold. You can skew any shape and fine-tune with simple, non-destructive controls. This magical touch can give us an awesome design. Adding video to your Figma prototype can bring a whole new level of life to your design. Figma has just released a new update that allows you to do more with your video prototypes. You can mute, pause, play, forward, and backward the video. You can also expand the video to the entire screen. Of course, you can do more with the new update. For more inspiration, you can duplicate the video and prototype playground from the community to help you. But in my course, we are going to focus on the simple parts. I will show you how to add the play, pause, mute, and unmute functionalities. In this section, you will learn how to prototype animation in Figma and learn how to use the after delay trigger to make your prototype interactive. So we will animate these circles and the background. After delay interaction works well with motion paths and is a great way to create a quick animation to make your app more engaging and interesting at first glance. After delay animation is a useful tool for creating short, smooth, and natural animations. The design is already created, so let's move directly to the prototype. I created 3 different designs for the avatars because I want the animation to play 2 different ways. I want to create a structure like a solar system revolving around the profile picture, so the friend's avatar will be like planets. It will appear from the back of the profile picture, then switch positions. So, on the first design, hide the friend's avatar behind the main profile picture. On the second design, the friend's avatar appear outside the profile picture. And on the third design, the friend's avatar move to different locations. This is what we're going to animate. We're going to use the same interaction using after delay. So let's recreate it from scratch. Here is how I prepared my first design. The friend's avatar will be in the middle, and on top, I will add another circle with the profile picture to hide everything. Now duplicate the first frame, hide the profile picture for now, and move the friend's avatar outside of the middle. Duplicate the second frame, and we're going to change the location of each friend's avatar. Next, we will create a component set. Select the 3 designs, click on the drop-down from the diamond icon, and select Create Component Set. The first one is already renamed to default, the second one rename it to Variant 2, and the third one to Variant 3. When it's done, we will add a prototype on the component set. Select the first variant and go to the Prototype tab. Drag the connection node to Variant 2. The interaction will be after delay with 1 millisecond. The action is Smart Animate with a linear transition. The duration will be 3000 milliseconds. Repeat the process with the same values for Variant 2 to Variant 3. Now, let's test it on the design. So drag Variant 1 into the frame. On your keyboard, press Option and drag. To play the animation, select the frame. Click on the plus icon next to Flow Starting Point because we want to start from this frame. Click on Play to preview it. We can see that the avatar's location is changing, so let's do the same thing with the background. I want the background to move infinitely. So duplicate the frame and we're going to change the position of the background of the second frame. We're going to create a component set. Select the 2 frames. First frame will be default, and the second one will be Variant 2. Select the first variant and click on the Prototype tab. Drag the connection node to the second variant. Select After Delay with 1 millisecond. Now drag the node from Variant 2 to Variant 1 to create an infinite loop. Use the same values. Let's test it out. Drag the component inside the frame and center it. Make sure there's a starting point. So let's play the preview. Great, the background is moving in an infinite loop, so everything is working well. Creating interactive button is a fundamental aspect of web design that can elevate the user experience by providing engaging and intuitive navigation. However, with so many websites and applications competing for users' attention, it can be challenging to make your buttons stand out. In this section, we will explore how to create animated buttons that will not only enhance usability, but also add a touch of creativity to your design. Before designing a button, you need to understand the animation concept. This will help you to select the appropriate design elements and animations that will most effectively deliver the intended purpose and behavior of the button. For example, if the button is intended to highlight an important action or feature, you may want to use bold colors with dynamic animation to catch the user's attention. Understanding the intense animation of the button will help you make design decisions that support overall user's experience. Here is the sign and button that I have already created. Let's recreate it from scratch to show you how to make it with the selected state. Add a rectangle of 336 by 46. Fill the color with this purple. Press Option-Command-G to add a frame. Duplicate the rectangle, Command-D, and change the color for this pink. This is going to be the selected state. Make it more wider and move it to the left. To hide the rectangle, check the clip content. When this option is checked, it means we're going to close the box, so everything that exceeds the frame will not be visible. If we unchecked it, everything outside that frame will reappear. For the corner radius, set it to 30. Now drag the Google logo, align vertical center, and add 1 pixel from the left. I'm going to copy this text to make it faster, so Option and drag and align center. So my first button is created. By the way, the logos are from Brands Logos by Andrei Kovalev. You can find it from the Figma community. Now, let's create interactive components. Interactive components enable you to create prototype interactions between variants in a component set, and they are ready to go anytime you add an instance. Create multiples instances and experiment with different behaviors all within your design. Let's create a component. So click on the 4-diamond icon, then click on Add Variant. And now a variant have been added. Variants allows you to create tests and iterate a design idea with ease. No need to send your team links back and forth to try out different combinations of colors and spacing. You can add variant to any components in your design. Just rename them, and then choose the best one for your project. Let's create a hover state. We are going to change the color of the second variant. Take the dropper and select this light purple. We're going to add a drop shadow. So for the Y value, it's going to be 10, and 12 for the blur. For the color, you can take the same dark purple but decrease the opacity to 30. Now we're going to add one more variant. This time, it's going to be the clicked state. What we are going to do is we are going to move this logo to the right, so click on Align Right. We are going to rotate to -20 degrees. Next, we're going to bring back the hidden rectangle. So align to the right and remove the shadow. Now click on the plus to add more variants. Change the logo for Facebook and the text as well and center it. Change the color for this blue. Click on plus again to add a variant. This time change the color for this dark blue. Add a drop shadow. Let's take the same blue and decrease the opacity to 30. Click Add More Variant again. We're going to move this logo to the right and add a rotation of -20 degrees. Bring the hidden rectangle to the right and select this light blue. Also change the color of the other rectangles. Now, let's add properties and values. So select the component container. Let's name the property type to identify the button style. And let's add more properties, so select the plus to create a component property. Click on Variant, and this time I'm going to name it State and click on Create Property. So select the first variant, and for the state, it's default. Select the second variant, the type is Google, and for the state, rename it to Hover. Select the third variant, the type is also Google, and rename the state to Selected. For the next 3 buttons, repeat the same process, but change the type to Facebook. Let's test our buttons. Go to the assets and drag your button. Change the type and state. If you can change the value of your variant from the inspector, that means everything is working correctly. Now we are ready to animate our component. We will create 2 interactions for hover and clicked. When a user hover over the button, it will change color. When the button is clicked, it will show a different design. So select the first button, drag the connection node to the second variant. Select while hovering for the interaction. For the animation, select Smart Animate and the duration is 300 milliseconds. Select the second variant and drag the connection node to the third variant. Select On Click and for Smart Animate, choose Gentle with a duration of 800 milliseconds. Repeat the same process for the Facebook buttons. Now we're going to add the button to our design. So I'm going to drag and drop. Press Option and drag, and this one is going to be Facebook. Select the frame, go to the prototype panel, and add the flow starting point. So let's test it. When the mouse hovers over the button, the color changes and the shadow appears. When we click on it, we can see the new design. So this is how we create an interactive button. With some practice, animated button can quickly become an indispensable tool in your prototyping repertoire. A floating tab bar is a type of navigation bar that is commonly used in mobile apps to allow users to switch between different sections of the app. In this section, we will be creating a floating tab bar in Figma and animate it to add a touch of interactivity. I am not going to show you the steps on how to create the tab bar from scratch, but I will show you how to create this custom shape for the selected tab. So when we click on a tab, the pink circle will slide to the tab that you selected. So we are going to create this custom shape using Boolean group and union selection. So let's start by adding a rectangle of 330 by 1 pixel. Let's align center. Then we're going to create this circle. Press Shift to keep its proportions. The size will be 44 by 44 and make sure it is centered vertically. Next, we are going to create a Boolean group. Select the two layers and select Union Selection as this will become one shape. Now set the corner radius to 6. We will use this shape for the sliding effect. When you select a tab, the shape will slide to the selected one. Next, we're going to fill with this color, decrease the opacity to 50%. Add a stroke with 1 pixel and outside. The stroke color will be white with an opacity of 50%. Now add a drop shadow with a Y value of 14 and a blur of 30. Fill it with this color and the opacity is 20%. And finally, we are going to add an inner shadow. Click on plus and change it for inner shadow. The Y value is 3, the blur is 8, and the color will be this purple. Our shape is now done. Next, we're going to create a circle for the selected tab. Create a circle of 44 by 44, or you can also duplicate this ellipse. So Command D and bring the layer to the top and add 2 pixels for the stroke. Select center, remove the fill, and we're going to add a linear gradient for the stroke. So the top color will be this code. Set the opacity to 0, and the bottom color will be this code and increase the opacity to 100. Drag down the top color to make it blend like this. Next, we are going to create this pink circle. So create a circle of 42 by 42. Press and hold Shift and drag it until you get 42 by 42, or you can type it manually. Rename the circle stroke. Fill it with this pink color. Select them both and center them horizontally and vertically. Our shape is now done. To make it fast, I'm going to option and drag all the icons, and we are going to group everything together. So select the icons, the circle, the stroke, and the union shape. Press Option G to group them, and make sure it is aligned center. Next step, we are going to create a component variant for the tab bar. So let's create a component. Click on the 4-diamond icon and select Create Component. Then add a variant. Select the pink circle, the stroke, and the circle inside the union shape and drag it to the next tab. Make sure it is centered. And what we're going to do is to change the color for all the selected tab. The color will be white, and the unselected will be this color. So repeat the same process for the rest of the icons. Now we're going to link the tab to their respective screen. Select the first tab bar and drag the connection node from the dating tab to its respective screen. The interaction will be on click, smart animate with ease in and out, and a duration of 300 milliseconds. Repeat the same steps with the same interaction for the remaining 4 tab bars and connect to its respective screen. Now make sure that every tabs are connected to their screens. Alright, insert the flow starting point on screen 1, and let's see the presentation view. We can see that the tab changes the page and the icon slides smoothly, so everything is working well. When prototyping in Figma, it is easy to create a prototype that looks great and is easy to navigate, but how do you make sure the scrolling content works well? Here are some tips and tricks that can help you create prototype with scrolling content that looks great and works smoothly. In this section, I will show you how to add scrolling with sticky elements to your prototype to get those interactions right. In this example, we see how the content can be scrolled horizontally or vertically and how to have fixed elements while scrolling. As you can see, the top navigation, the tab bar, and the home indicator stays in the same position. So let's explore their importance and key considerations for effective implementation. The reason for scrolling is that we need to focus on one specific area at a time. It is useful when there are many rows and columns in a large data grid. One of the biggest advantages of scrolling is that it is much faster than clicking. The user can simply scroll through a long list of items instead of having to click on each item. This will save time and provide a better user experience on touchscreen smart devices. Let's start with the story section here. We don't see all the photos on the screen, making it uncomfortable. To fix this, we will add a container to frame the scrolling. We'll begin by adding a frame selection as clipped content. This way, when you scroll horizontally, the movement will be contained within the frame. Select the story layer. Right-click and select Frame Selection. Then adjust the frame width to fit the screen and rename it Stories. This frame will limit the view of the content to only be visible within this section. Now go to the Prototype tab and select Horizontal Scrolling under Overflow Scrolling. Let's preview the presentation. So now we can scroll horizontally. Next, we're going to add a vertical scrolling. We will add a glass effect while scrolling vertically the entire screen. This will make the navigation bar appear transparent while scrolling, adding dynamic flair to your design. Select all the elements, right-click and select Frame Selection. Resize the frame height to fit the screen. Go to the Prototype tab, select Vertical Scrolling under Overflow Scrolling. Let's play the presentation view. Alright, when scrolling, you may have noticed that both the navigation bar and the tab bar move away from the screen. To resolve this issue, you can check the Fixed Position when scrolling feature. So select the top navigation tab bar and the home indicator and check the Fixed Position when scrolling option. This option will lock an object's position and make sure it stays in the same place without moving. Figma will also move those fixed layers above the other layers under the fixed section. Let's add a glass effect on our top navigation bar to make it more dynamic. So select the top navigation, add a fill color with the same color as the background, and reduce the opacity to 60%. Then add effects and select background blur with a value of 50. When clip content is selected, the scrolling content will be restricted to the area of the frame. You can uncheck to see what's inside the screen and have more details. So now we can close the box. Next, we're going to add a vertical scrolling. So select your frame and go to the Prototype tab and select Vertical Scrolling. Let's play the presentation view. So here's the final look. When scrolling vertically, the elements go through the navigation bar, which have a slight transparency. This effect will give you a lot of flexibility, and you can see that effect on a lot of real apps. Great! We just learned how to add scrolling in your prototype in Figma, and it was that simple. Video enhances any user experience, so prototyping with real media is crucial. Like images, video can be added as fill to any shapes. In this section, we will cover the basics of how video works in Figma and how to use them to create simple social media design. To follow along, you can grab my design from the asset file. For additional resources and inspiration, download this file from Figma Community. It provides a lot of new updates that you can have on your video prototype. Before you start, there are some important things to know about this feature. The video prototype feature is only available for professional, organization, and enterprise teams. To learn more, visit Figma's website. In order to use videos in Figma, videos must meet the following criteria. The format can be MP4, MOV, or WebM. The size have been upgraded from 30 MB to 100 MB. They must be added like shape fill within your design. Currently, videos are not supporting the Figma mobile app. Keeping these requirements in mind will ensure that you are able to incorporate videos into your Figma design effectively. Let's start by creating the interactive component. For the audio, we will create a button to mute to expand the video and the play and pause that appears while hovering over the audio player. Our goal is to make the video autoplay and unmute when the feed is open. Usually, users should be able to control the video by tapping on an icon to mute or unmute. play and pause, and clicking on the video will expand it to full screen. The design has already been created. The gray rectangle is the placeholder for the video. It's the same way how to add images. So to import a video, select the rectangle layer named Video. Then click on the fill switch in the right sidebar to open the color picker. Click on the fill mode, drop down, and select Video. A black and white checkered grid placeholder image will be applied to the sheet. Click Choose and select the video you wish to apply. The video will be added to your shape as a fill. With the new update to the video prototype, you can now see the preview video by clicking on the play button without creating the prototype. So if you like the video, just add it and that's it. To reposition or resize the video, click on the film mode, drop down, and select Crop. You can drag to modify its position. If you click on Fill, it will fill the space proportionally in the canvas. When you're done, click anywhere in the canvas to apply the changes. Now, let's preview our design in the presentation view. It looks great, however we want to be able to interact with the video. To do this, switch back to the design file and go to the Prototype tab and select the video layer. By default, video are set to autoplay, loop, and sound on. For now, let's turn off the sound because when opening the feed, we certainly don't want it to be overly noisy. You can add a play-pause interaction in a simple or complex way. But let me show you this easy way first. By tapping on the video, it will pause or play. This is the easy way, and later on, I will show you how to do the complex way using interactive component with the play and pause icons. So when you click on it, it will pause, and when you click back, it will play. Now let's add a play-pause interaction. So click on the plus icon next to the interactions to add a new interaction to the video layer. Open the interaction panel, then select on click or on tap. Select the action to play pause video. Let's switch to the presentation view. Now the video is on autoplay and we are able to play and pause the video by tapping on it. Now let's add the mute-unmute interaction. It is the same concept as the play-pause option. So when we click on the unmute, we will hear the sound. I have already created a component. All that is left to do is to connect the volume onto the volume off. We're going to drag the connection node from the volume onto the variant volume off, and we'll keep it like that. So drag back the variant 2 to variant 1. So when the component is connected, we can now apply to our design. So drag and drop from your component and place it at the bottom right corner. Now let's connect the volume icon component to the video frame and select mute-unmute video. Now let's play the presentation view. So if I click on the unmute, we are going to hear the song. Turn it off again to mute. Next, we will expand the video when the full screen icon is clicked, causing the video to fill up the entire screen. And if we want to go back, just click on the back button and it will bring to the original size. So let's begin. So all the components are already created and connected in the same way for each icon, so the transition is on click for all of them. So it's very simple. So we are going to connect to the design. All we need to do is duplicate the first screen. I'm going to make another one from scratch. So let's move this one here and duplicate this screen. We are going to expand this frame to make it a full screen, so resize everything to fill the entire screen. I am going to make it fast. Before that, I hid this group, so I'm going to set the opacity back to 100%. This is the details about the short. Let's change the status bar to dark mode, and same thing for the home indicator. Now, all we need to do is connect this full screen icon to the second screen. So select the Prototype tab, drag the connection node from the full screen icon to the second screen. Select on click, Smart Animate, and Custom Bezier. Let's put 0.8, 0.2, and 1. Let's preview the prototype. So if I click on this icon, it will expand to the full screen. Now I need to connect the back button. So connect the back button to the first screen and select on click, Smart Animate with the same action, animation, and transition. So let's play again. So if I want to go back, it will come back to the original size. Next, we want to create the hover state for the audio player. So when my mouse hovered, the controls will appear, letting you the option to play or pause, go backward 10 seconds, as well as the go forward 10 seconds. So let's begin. All the components are already created for the play, pause, and the backward, forward. First thing we're going to do is create this audio player. So we're going to drag and drop the components, or you can go to the assets. Select them, add auto layout and center, and for this spacing between items is 25 and drag it into your design. What will you going to do is hide this audio, so set the opacity to 0, and then we're going to connect the hiding audio layer to the second screen. So drag the connection node to the second screen and select mouse enter with Smart Animate. And then, for the second screen, you're going to connect the backward to the video frame and then select jump forward, backward in time. For this one, select jump backward with 10 seconds. Repeat the same process for the forward icon, but select jump forward. Now let's test it out in the presentation view. So, the video is on autoplay, and when we hover over the player, the audio controls shows up letting you the option to play and pause, and go backward or forward by 10 seconds. So great, everything is working well. We are done with the video prototype. Video prototyping in Figma is a great way to create interactive and attractive design with video content. If you want to watch the rest of the course, please subscribe to our pro content on designcode.io or by becoming a supporter of our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to see you in the next video.